I do know Naomi, and I knew her before I met Mr. Epstein and the former President Clinton.
Ghislaine Maxwell says, Meghan Markle involved with Jeffrey Epstein? Ooh, and also we got a situation with Fergie. Oh yeah, we got Ghislaine Maxwell.
The new year has just arrived. January is here. Meghan Markle is everywhere on Instagram, talking about fresh starts and pushing her as ever brand. She's selling the image of an authentic lifestyle queen, a woman who beat the odds and built her own empire. Inspiring, relatable, perfectly curated. But here's the problem. While Meghan is busy polishing her California fairy tale for the cameras, Ghislaine Maxwell is sitting in a Florida prison, reportedly dropping information that could shatter everything Meghan has built. And not just damage it, destroy it. Maxwell, the woman who helped run Jeffrey Epstein's operation for decades, who knows more about elite social circles than almost anyone alive, is said to have come forward with a document. Not rumors, not gossip. A document she claims exposes exactly what Meghan was doing during those mysterious years before. Suits, the years nobody talks about. The years Meghan erased from her narrative. According to whispers, this document outlines Meghan's connections to wealthy men in ways that go far beyond innocent networking. Words being used include adult entertainment circles, private arrangements, and the kind of games ambitious women play when access is everything. And before this gets dismissed as prison talk, understand this: Maxwell has nothing to gain from lying. She's serving 20 years. Her life is effectively over. Lies get her nothing. But the truth, especially truth about powerful people, that still has value, even behind bars.
The girl who accused Prince Andrew, that's Virginia Giuffre, can also easily be proven to be a liar. I think Buckingham Palace would love it. You should task someone to investigate the girl that has caused the Queen's son all this aggro. I promise you, she is a fraud. You and I will be able to go to Ascot for the rest of...
Meghan's response to all of this: complete silence. No statement. No denial. No legal threat. Nothing. A silence that speaks volumes. Because if this were fiction, lawyers would already be involved. That quiet suggests fear. So buckle up, because what's coming could unravel the fairy tale Meghan sold to the world. Here's why Maxwell's words actually carry weight. She wasn't just Epstein's assistant, she was the architect. Her skill set was identifying young women who understood how to operate around wealthy, powerful men. Women who knew how to leverage beauty, charm, and access to climb social ladders. Women willing to play the game when the stakes were high enough. Maxwell built that system. She knows the patterns because she created them. So, when she claims to have documentation tying Meghan to those same circles during her early years, people should listen. Spotting women who moved that way was literally her job.
Pretty frustrating to sit there and sort of see names of famous wealthy people. Yes, they were on planes, they knew Jeffrey Epstein, but you kept wondering, well, what else did they know? Did they, did they fund Jeffrey Epstein? And by the way, did Jeffrey Epstein then steal?
Look at Maxwell's position now. Locked away, universally despised, reputation obliterated. What possible benefit does she gain from inventing stories about Meghan Markle? There is no upside, no leverage, no reward. Which means if she's speaking, it's because she recognizes a familiar pattern. And here's the dangerous part for Meghan. Maxwell operated in the exact elite environments Meghan was allegedly navigating during her unknown years. Monaco yacht parties, private billionaire gatherings, invitation-only events where beautiful women mix with powerful men under very specific, unspoken arrangements. Maxwell would have known who was present in those spaces. She would have recognized recurring names and faces. This isn't random gossip. This is someone with first-hand knowledge calling out a pattern she's seen before. That's what makes it threatening.
Marcus Anderson. Marcus Anderson is very unique in the Meghan Markle Disposable Friends series because Marcus is indispensable.
This is where Soho House enters the picture. Everyone knows Marcus Anderson introduced Meghan to Prince Harry through Soho House. That's documented. It's in books. It's been publicly acknowledged. But what people overlook is what Soho House actually represents. It isn't just a trendy celebrity hangout. It's a carefully designed networking ecosystem for people chasing wealth, influence, and power. Its entire business model is built around creating private spaces where deals, relationships, and opportunities are formed away from public scrutiny. That's the point. And Marcus Anderson isn't just a member. He's the global membership director. His job is deciding who gets access, who gets introduced, and which connections are strategically valuable. He's not a social butterfly, he's a professional gatekeeper.
Really, apparently just wants time alone, doesn't want to be filmed, doesn't want to be put on social media, but has no choice. That very much bewildering picture of them both lamely holding hands looking out at the pumpkin farm really means nothing. It doesn't really go anywhere, does it? And so for Harry himself, he's now, in many people are suggesting, trapped. And as his mother famously said in that world, that
So when Anderson introduced Meghan to Harry, that wasn't a casual favor between friends. That was a calculated introduction made by someone whose career is built on assessing people's potential to succeed in elite environments. And how would Anderson know Meghan had the skills to land a prince? Because he'd watched her successfully navigate wealthy men for years. That's not luck. That's pattern recognition.
A very interesting observation. The man in the plaid behind Meghan Markle appears to be Marcus Anderson. Who is Marcus Anderson, and why is he always around Meghan and Harry? Oh, if we compare jawlines, the jawline to the man in the previous picture and the jawline here of Marcus Anderson matches up pretty well. And I have to say, I don't know why these two are not a couple.
Here's what blows my mind. Anderson connected with Meghan during her Toronto Suits years when she's making maybe 50 grand an episode.
Here's what really raises eyebrows. Anderson connected with Meghan during her Suits years in Toronto, when she was reportedly earning around $50,000 per episode. Cable television money. Comfortable, but nowhere near elite. Yet during that same period, Meghan was traveling to Europe, attending yacht parties and appearing at exclusive Monaco events. That level of access doesn't come from a modest acting salary, but Anderson had that access, and he brought Meghan into his world. The Soho House network spans Toronto, London, Los Angeles, New York, and beyond. Wherever Meghan went, doors opened. That wasn't friendship, that was facilitation. And the obvious question remains, what did Meghan provide in exchange for that access?
4-year-old, when we play imaginary play, she gets all the jams out the cupboard and lays them all on the table, and I get the fake money and pretend to buy them. Meghan is doing imaginary play, but she's doing it with Marcus.
Now let's talk about what this alleged Maxwell document likely contains. This isn't a claim of verified fact, it's an analysis of how these elite networks function. In circles where wealthy men arrange companionship and access, documentation exists, not because anyone wants paper trails, but because travel, events, and schedules require records. The men involved want to know who attended, who was introduced, and what connections were established.
I'm not sure exactly what the outcome will be, but definitely not good.
Jeffrey Epstein case came and went. There are files, there are no files, there are names, there are no names, there's a client list, there isn't a client.
Such a document exists with Meghan's name attached. It would likely list events she had no conventional reason to attend. Yacht parties with billionaires, private gatherings at luxury estates, invitation-only functions filled with Saudi princes, Russian oligarchs, and their carefully selected female companions. The names wouldn't necessarily appear as accusations, but as records who introduced her, which men she connected with, what doors opened afterward. And the phrase Maxwell allegedly used, playing the adult game, is key. That's insider language, vague enough to avoid legal exposure, but clear enough that people in those circles know exactly what it implies. If Meghan's name appears in documentation using that terminology, that's not coincidence. That's someone from inside the system, saying she worked it too. Now look at the timeline using only verifiable facts. Meghan graduates from Northwestern and moves to Los Angeles chasing acting dreams. She auditions constantly, lands minor roles, struggles like thousands of other actresses. She isn't famous. She isn't wealthy. She doesn't have industry power. Yet during those exact years, photos surface of Meghan on luxury yachts in the Mediterranean, attending elite Monaco parties, traveling internationally in ways most working actresses couldn't afford. How? With whose money? Through which connections? The official explanation is vague references to friends. But who are these friends? And why would ultra-wealthy men invite a relatively unknown actress into their most private spaces without a reason? That's not how elite privacy works. *10 interview*, then suddenly, Meghan lands Suits. Not through a typical grinded-out audition path, but through connections. Where did those connections come from? The elite networking she'd been doing for years. Then she meets Prince Harry again, not randomly, but through Marcus Anderson and Soho House, where she'd been building relationships since Toronto. See the pattern? At every stage of Meghan's rise, wealthy men and elite access pushed her forward. Talent alone didn't get her suits. Connections did. Charm alone didn't get her Harry. Strategic networking did. And that's exactly why. These allegations, if proven, wouldn't just damage her image, they'd rewrite her entire story.
More likely to be queen than president. Well, she's right there, because the reality is I'm going to be a bar of soap before the American electorate would be dumb enough to elect that thing as president. So I think to that extent, she and I are in a